Metro Ghetto.
Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Ghetto vlog. As you can see, I'm coming at you from my second home, IKEA, which can only mean one thing: big breakfast. Two things: more game room changes. I'm going to be picking up more shelves, of course, for the Sega wall, which I'm really hoping to get locked in on this episode, right? Pretty much get it done. But not only that, I've got some other big changes planned, so we're going to be buying another unit. I'll discuss that more once we get back to the 3.0 and I'll show you exactly what I'm planning. But yeah, one of the mantras I live by is never make a decision on an empty stomach. So we're going to be heading straight to the canteen. I'm going to get myself a nice breakfast, and then yeah, we're going to make some purchases. Let's go. Oh, cheers guys. I've decided to turn my cooked breakfast into an elaborate beans on toast, so yeah, let's get this done. That was bloody lovely. Last time I was here, I said I was thinking about getting a plant, and I still think it would look good to get a fake plant in there. But then it's just, you know, where would it go and all that kind of thing. That I don't know if I want one of these small ones or if I want like a bigger one that I could potentially put by the back door. I really want a flower. Man cave in it, man cave. So yeah, I think I want just like an evergreen. I mean, it's plastic, so it should be evergreen, but you know what I mean. Something basic bit. I've always had a thing for lights and lighting. Before I built the 3.0, I always envisaged I'd have loads of different lights, but because of how well the LEDs run like around the perimeter of the ceiling, I kind of feel like less is more, and they're the ones I use. I'd never really use anything else. I've got the official PlayStation light, the official Xbox light, the new Sega Mega Drive light, which hopefully we'll get forever home for on this episode. And because of all those things, I've never really felt the need to add more lighting, but you can get these kind of things. So you see this? Not this one exactly, I want one that just goes right into the corner. And I was thinking maybe it can go behind Master Chief. So I'm going to look online and see if I can get like a corner light. I think it'd just be nice to have like a green glow behind Master Chief, just have it like running into the corner of the wall there. I think that'll look really good and really like sort of enhance the Xbox-ness, if that's a word, of Master Chief. But yeah, I've always had a thing for lights. Every time I come in these sections, I always start thinking, what can I do? Where can I put more lights? But in reality, it can be overkill, isn't it? And if you're not going to use them, what's the point? Okay, here we are. The Moslander section again, and I'm gonna buy not the one that's got chewing gum on it. Lovely, welcome to Nottingham. So I'm gonna buy 4 of these. That'll double the amount we've got now. I think that's more than enough for now, because if I do end up getting to a point where I need half shelves, that's not a decision I can make right now, because we're gonna have to do some moving about anyway. We're gonna have to move the standees and stuff around when we get back. So again, I don't want to be in a position where I buy more than I need. There's always a reason for me to come back to IKEA anyway. But yeah, we're going to buy 4 of these today, and then hopefully get them all on the wall before this day's done. Okay, I've spent way too long looking at plants. I know they say you're supposed to talk to plants, but I was hoping one would talk to me, grab me, want me to buy it, but alas, no plant pulled me in enough. Right, I've got everything I need. Let's get loaded up, paid up, let's get back. Okay, so whilst in Nottingham, I decided to do a little bit of a detour. I needed a hardware store, so we've come to Wix. I need to get a load more trunking. Now I've done the game room changes, I need a load more trunking for the trunking hacks. I need all the Xbox 360 done, plus loads more. Also, I need a new blade for my saw, so I can keep cutting these Moslander shelves to get the Sega wall finished. And I've chose this Wix because this is close to a CEX, where I've got interesting history, so we'll go and check that out after. Every time I come here, I tell you how the price has gone up. It's gone up again. It's like £4 now for one piece. However, if you really want to do the ultimate trunking hack, look at this bad boy. £14. I don't think I'll be doing my whole game room in that, but yeah, I guess I'll just be buying the 2. Also, I'm not sure why, but these bigger self-adhesive ones are 40p cheaper than the smaller self-adhesive ones. So we're going to be going with the bigger ones. But one thing I want to tell you guys, make sure you're always looking at, when you buy them, make sure they're straight. Because if you look at that one, see how that one's not straight there? That will become an issue when you come to put it on your trunking, when you've got, look at the bottom. So when you come to put your games, and your games all start bowing, that'll be why. So make sure you get straight ones. I'm here in beautiful Bulwell. And if you've ever been to Bulwell, you will know I said beautiful purely for alliteration. This is the CEX, where I was fortunate enough to convince them to give me maximum carnage as loose because the box was in bad condition. Ended up getting an absolute bargain. I remember thinking at the time how good the CEX was. There was a lot of like decent games in here. I'm currently very low on vouchers, so if I'm going to buy something, it best be something worth paying cash on. Equally, there's a lot of charity shops around here, so we'll hit all them up first. Hopefully we'll find a little bit of trade bait, and yeah, then we'll head to CEX, which is there. Let's do it. So this company, Art of Football, I didn't know it was based in Nottingham. It says on here. They must have like donated some of these to the charity shop. It's got some really nice designs. I've got this Boca Juniors one here. The other one that I liked was this. Those boots just remind me of Thierry, man. That was that prime Thierry, right? Yeah, I'll have to try one of these on. That's £5 traders. That's a shame it's not got the actual colour. back in the 3.0, and before I crack on with the Mega Drive wall, before I do my shelving hack for the 360 area, before I open these parcels down here, and before I build this new unit and explain exactly where it's going in the room, I'm going to enjoy my standard post IKEA cinnamon roll. Okay, with that taken care of, let's get to the Sega wall, shall we? First things first, I've got to take these standees off. I don't want to, I love where they are, but bigger picture, they've got to come off. They will be going somewhere, I haven't decided where, that's for another day. But for now, let's get them off, and then we can start getting at least one more row put in, hopefully 2 by the end of today. Alright, okay, we've got a problem. Not the marks on the wall, that's fine. They can be patched up if needs be, if they don't get covered by Sega games. The problem is, look how good she looks there. Oh man, we've only just put PlayStation games and Super Nintendo consoles behind there, but oh, that looks pretty good, right? If you set that back against that. Now obviously the issue is we're going to lose all this storage. We are putting in that new unit, which could potentially give us the room that we're going to lose here. That looks so cool. I love my Grand Theft Auto standees. They deserve pride of place, right? Anyway, I can't focus on that. We'll get to that. Let's crack on with this wall. Let's get some shelving. Okay, so on the second shelf, and this is what's annoying about these shelves. Obviously, listen, they're £10 shelves. IKEA is mass produced. The quality control and the consistency isn't there. So often what you'll find is you have to sort of move things about. You might have to go slightly off center just to get things to line up and look perfect to the eye, right? But then every now and again you'll get something like this. I mean, look how annoying that is. It's really going to wire me up. I've tried both, 2 different shelves, here. But it's not those shelves, it's this shelf. This shelf, for some reason, it's like it just sticks out more. It's very annoying. I've tried all different ways of lining this up. They're all perfectly balanced, they're all perfectly straight, they're all equidistant from the shelf above. But for some reason, they just won't match up here. Like I say, it seems to be this shelf that's the problem. So the only real option I've got is to either make do, or take this shelf off. Ultimately, this can be the one that gets cut at the end, and hope that putting this shelf on its place will solve that problem. Let's find out. Okay, so that's better than it was, but it's still slightly out. What that suggests to me is that this wall is maybe got like a little bit of a curve to it, and then it's stopping this end from going against the wall. So it's not too bad from this angle, look, but it's once you get sort of this side, you can see that it's just not quite sitting as flush as it is if I push it. So what I'll probably do is make an additional hole here, put an extra screw in, and just sort of force it back against the wall, and that should hopefully just put it in line. Like I say, it's not too bad. I could probably live with that, but yeah, from this angle, it's not great. Okay, so it took 2 additional screws, that bottom one at an angle, to get to ultimately exactly where we wanted to be. I'll take that. Let's go. Job done. Okay, that's another row of shelving done. Let's get some games on there. Okay, so I am absolutely delighted with how this is looking. 3 rows makes such a big difference compared to 2, right? For some reason, I don't know, it just feels more full. More like a wall instead of just a couple of shelves, I think. If you were watching me in IKEA talking about buying 4 of these shelves to do 2 more rows, why didn't you tell me that I needed 6? I must have been in a food coma after my breakfast, right? Because I should have bought 6 of these, not 4, right? 'Cause it's 3 per row. But I think it was a blessing in disguise because I've got to do some thinking. I don't know if I can get another row in. I don't know if I like the way this looks. Ryu, the monitor, it kind of works. Equally, even if I get rid of Ryu, drop another shelf, it's going to come very close to the monitor. And is it going to look good or is it going to look too full? Also, what we've got to start thinking about is where the overflow is going. I'm never going to get my full collection on this wall. Never mind where my collection is going as I keep adding games. So, similar to the Super Nintendo wall, I need a strategy where I can just display them spine only. So I might have to incorporate a bigger shelf, one that comes out further, so I can put spines all the way across the bottom. That will still give me the same problem with the monitor. But yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with how it's looking. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. But there's still a few things I need to think about before I get it finished. Right, okay, so I decided to take a quick break from DIY and all the usual shenanigans I get up to in this room and sit down for a bit. It's a good time for me to show you guys what I've picked up. I've also got a box which I need to open. So, the trip today, as you guys saw, I think I mentioned this in that charity shop. There's a company called Art of Football. I've seen them on Instagram a few times, some really nice designs, but always just been a little bit out of my price range in terms of what I'm willing to pay for one of these football themed t-shirts. But as I said, there was like a whole selection of them in this charity shop and I had to pick one up, and I picked up this one. I thought this was really cool. Real like old school Boca Juniors vibes to this one, like the classic kit that they had all those years ago. This one was just £5.50, really happy with that. Yeah, just a nice little retro football shirt for me. There were some other nice ones. There was that one, like I said, had those Nike boots that like reminded me of Thierry, but they're all priced individually. That one was over £10 and £5 was about where I wanted to be, so happy with that. And I did grab a handful of games from CEX, but I'm going to talk about them on their own video, so we're not going to be discussing them today. However, I did have this arrive from eBay. So, me and my friend Big Steph, we kind of do this movie night. We get together as often as we can and we always try and watch the movie. It was him that I watched the Street Fighter VHS with last week, and prior to that, I had this brainwave of, oh, what a fantastic film. He'd said he'd never seen it. It was one of them like, I couldn't believe he'd never seen it, let's watch it. And typically these days, these streaming services, it was like £6 to buy it or whatever, or not available for free anywhere, no matter how many subscriptions I pay for each month. So I thought, right, I'm just going to buy it. The DVD cost me like £1.60 posted online. It's an amazing movie. I've not seen it for probably 4 or 5 years, so I'm long overdue. And that is Ong Bak. Yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, check it out. I'm probably going to make a bold statement and say this is my favourite martial arts movie of all time. I expected Tony Jaa to become a massive star after this. They kind of released more Ong Baks, but they're very different to this. I always liken this to being like the Asian Rush Hour. I think it's sort of set in Thailand. There's a guy in it, like a comedian, he's dead funny. He's like the Chris Tucker. And yeah, it's set in like modern day. And then after this, it kind of went a different place. I remember watching the following Ong Baks and it was so disappointing. They were sort of all like set historically and just didn't have the same vibe. I don't know why they didn't continue with this, because this is fantastic. There was another one, I think it was Warrior King, that was okay. But yeah, this is definitely the one. If you haven't seen Ong Bak, watch it. I really want to watch it now, but obviously I've got to wait for my man Big Steph to come round. So if you're watching Steph, get yourself round here, because yeah, this is long overdue. But £1.60. I don't collect videos, I don't collect DVDs. I said I don't collect videos. I've got a shelf next to me. I don't collect DVDs, I don't collect Blu-rays. So once I've watched this, I'll give this away. So if there is anyone out there that hasn't watched it, yeah, I'll give this away when the time comes. Right, okay, so I have got a gift here. This was sent to me by my friend Dylan, Hyper Trigger X. I've spoken about his channel numerous times, but if you like shmups, if you are sort of like into cables and leads and controllers and other peripherals that go along with making these games look as good and playing as well as possible, Hyper Trigger X is the channel for you. There will of course be a link in the description below. He randomly messaged me and just said, look, I've got this, do you want it? I had to force him to take postage, let me pay for postage. He's such a great guy, is Dylan. But yeah, he also said to me that there was a message printed on the inside of this box that was quite apt, even though it was like just coincidental. So let's have a look.
well, that's a note that he's written me. Is there a message in here? Try not to show you my address. Oh, Dylan, what have you done to me, man? I made a right mess in here with all this green stuff. Cheers, Dylan, mate. I feel like I've been punked or pranked or something. Right, let's have to get the Hoover out for the second time today. Okay. Hey Callum, hope this finds its way to you. May it help you on your journey to becoming a shmup master on the SNES. Take it easy, Dylan, Hyper Trigger X, what a man. And that is, if I can get it out without creating more green mess, a Super Advantage stick. I've been thinking about getting one of these for quite a while, to be honest. Just because of the amount of games that I play on the Super Nintendo, shmups and alike, that I think would benefit from this. I had one of these many years ago, but I was on a very different journey with my gaming then, so I never really got to sort of like take full advantage of it. It's not really for playing Donkey Kong Country with, do you know what I mean? So yeah, massive shout out to Dylan. Hopefully I'll be able to use this tonight, maybe, depending on what I play, because I have got a gaming night planned, right? I've got a rare sort of evening stroke morning where I've not got to be anywhere, I ain't got to be up at the crack of dawn. So I'm going to really try not get too distracted with YouTube and D.I.Y. and Sega Wars and really just have a fully focused gaming evening. I've already downloaded a couple of games to the Xbox One that I'm thinking about playing. I've downloaded Castlevania Lord of Shadows and I've downloaded Alan Wake, so I might play one of those two. They're both games that I've been thinking about playing for a little bit of time. I'm also definitely going to be playing Sunset Riders on the Super Nintendo. I said when I bought that it was like a grail. I spent a lot of money on it even though I got a bargain, and now's the time to play that. I did finish another level on Tiny Thor last night. I think we're on level 22 now. But I think we're going to give Tiny Thor a bit of a rest. It's like, yeah, it's just become a lot. That game's so difficult. I don't know if the enjoyment's crept out of it a little bit. I think I need a break from it. Once I get sent the physical copy of Tiny Thor, that'll probably be the impetus for me to then jump back into it. So I think I'm going to take a break, dive into some other games, and yeah, that's very much what tonight's plan is. But massive shout out to Dylan. Make sure you go and check him out, Hyper Trigger X. The link will be in the description below. Let's go.
Right, let's do some gaming.
Ghetto.
Good morning everybody, on what is a beautiful, crisp day. Sadly, it's not as beautiful or crisp in the 3.0. It looks and smells like a teenage boy's bedroom. Hence the rare occasion that the window's actually open in here, getting some fresh air in. Yeah, this is very much the morning after the night before, right? I did what I set out to do. I did a lot of gaming. I think I called it at night about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. I played Alan Wake, put a couple of hours into that. This is like the special edition that comes with the novel and all sorts. Really interesting story. I'm definitely intrigued by it, but I kind of came to the conclusion after a couple of hours that I can see why it got a more modern remake. It does feel quite dated in terms of its controls and some of the visuals. So I kind of came to the conclusion that if I am going to play it, I'll probably play a more modern version of it, knowing that it's out there. If there wasn't a modern remake, it'd probably be okay, but in the back of my mind, knowing that there's a better version, I kind of thought, you know what, I might as well play that. So I will be playing that at some point down the road. But yeah, definitely intrigued by that one. Most of my time, however, went into this classic Sunset Riders. I probably did about 5 or 6 run-throughs of this. I didn't manage to finish it. I got as far as the penultimate boss, so I'm not a million miles away. There's a boss before that which keeps taking all my continues off me. It's like this Native American that sort of throws knives at you, and yeah, that's the one where I need to put some practice in, because that's sort of where I keep losing my lives, which is then stopping my progress. But yeah, not a million miles away from completing that one, so yeah, I can see why people enjoy that game. It's fantastic. I'm not sure it's worth the price tag, but you know, in terms of collectability, very happy to have it. But yeah, I'm going to drink my much needed tea, and I'm going to think about today's plans. So, before we get to the Sega War and all that, I bought this unit yesterday. The plan is to remove Pac-Man. I love this machine, I play it quite regularly, but I just think, with me adding things to this room, such as this unit here, oh by the way, I did this last night as well,
I moved those out of the way just to test how that would look. We're going to talk about that more later. But in terms of like putting in like new units and stuff, I definitely don't want the game room to feel overcrowded. And one of the things which just isn't right is the arcade one-up. As soon as you walk into the room, you're kind of confined to this little space here. It kind of sticks out. Whilst it's not the end of the world, I just think the game room generally would have a better feel about it if this was just a continuation of the units. That also gives me more space for Super Nintendo games, of which we're going to be doing shortly on this vlog, because I got all those fantastic Super Nintendo games from Old School Gaming last week. So we're going to go through those, clean those up, get those added to the wall, and some will obviously go here. But that'll all come after we've built this extra unit. Pac-Man is going to be going into the conservatory, so if anything, there'll probably be even more opportunity for me to play it, because, you know, when I'm in there, it's such an easy game. You can just turn it on for 5-10 minutes. Little man can watch me play it, etc. So yeah, I'm not getting rid of Pac-Man. I'm just simply moving it to the main house. So that's today's job. We're going to get this moved, get the unit built, and then sort of like open up this area even more. And like I say, I just think in terms of the general aesthetic of the room, it'll just give me a lot cleaner, more straight lines. Yeah, I think it's going to be better all around. Crazy how much more spacious it looks just from moving the arcade one up. Right, so it is time to build the Billy. I've built so many Billies, it's getting boring. So we're going to try and make this one a little bit more exciting for me. I'm going to time myself, see how quickly we can get this thing built. Okay, let's go. Okay, 6 minutes 49 is officially the time to build a Billy bookcase. This should be the last one I build, but I'm not naive enough to say that until the inevitable next time. But if anyone out there's building a Billy, thinks they can beat 6 minutes 49, I've set the pace, right? I could have been quicker, definitely. I slept funny on my neck, so I'm struggling to move my head. Anyway, I don't need excuses, right? 6:49, I'm taking it. The unit is built. Let's get it in play. Okay, so it's been way too long since I last checked in. There's been a lot of procrastinating, a lot of head scratching, a lot of head banging, to be honest. I've tried to implement a few things here, none of which has really worked. I just keep getting hit with obstacles. I'm going to discuss them with you all in a bit, because right now I've had enough of looking at this. It kind of feels like I've gone 1 step forward and 2 steps back. So I need to do something positive, and I am going to go and sort out that unit that's been blocking the back. Okay, so this is the unit in question, and as you can see, the drawers are just full of games, spare games, cases. I'm not going to dig too deep. I've got to be careful what is shown on camera, but ultimately what we've got to do is condense this to be able to fit into this newly added drawer. Obviously Mega Drive games are going to be rehoused, so they can come out for now. But yeah, I need to get all of this stuff condensed down into that drawer so I can finally get rid of this thing, which has been severely annoying me for the past week at least. Okay, job done. I broke it down into sections. Things that are useful to eat, things that may go on display one day, things that are just useful, things that smell nice, and in here it's just the random spare games, manuals, slip covers, random stuff that I tell myself I might need one day, even though I probably never will. And a nice picture of Retro Ghetto Lady. Right, that's it. Let's get rid of this thing. Okay, so that's chocolate, biscuits, job done. Man, it feels nice to be able to just walk in and walk out of my room. Honestly, every day I've been going out there training, I've been jumping over units and whatnot. So yeah, that feels nice, man. I needed that. I know it's probably not the best spectator sport watching me clean out a cupboard, but I needed it. Like I say, I've been kind of procrastinating, staring at this wall that I'd created where the arcade one-up was. And yeah, you know, I started thinking I'd gone one step forward, two steps back, and the room was such a mess. So what I did was I basically just took stock, I tidied up, I got everything cleared, what I could get cleared. Just to kind of remind myself that we are taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? Sometimes you just got to take a break, clear things, you know, tidy room, tidy mind. I'm a big believer of that. And yeah, feeling a lot more positive at this moment in time. Like I said, I've got a plan for this. We're going to get to that real soon. But firstly, now I've got a bit of clean space, so I'm going to have to get rid of these units. It's time to look at the fantastic games that I picked up from Old School Gaming. I did a video on it on Wednesday. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out, where I sort of go into detail about all these new additions. But I did pick up 7 Super Nintendo games, all varying in terms of like quality, condition, and things like that. So we're going to take a look at them all, get the ones cleaned up or de-stickered that need it, and then get some games put on the SNES wall, right? Let's do that. Okay, so I've got myself set up and we're going to take a look now each of these games. Now, I've not gone through any of these games with a fine-tooth comb myself. These have all been in box protectors. I've just taken them all out so we can take a good look at condition. First one is Kickoff. Nothing obvious on this, no stickers. It does need a inlay. I've got a spare inlay. I found one in the cupboard to be cleaned out, actually. So that can go in Kickoff. So nothing really needs doing with that. They'll all get the standard sort of Mr. Sheen wipe over. But yeah, that one's absolutely fine. Next is International Sensible Soccer. As I say, a very rare game these days. Just one that you don't see. Doesn't even have its own listing at CEX or anything like that. Nice condition on the tabs. A little bit of wear that you'd expect on a darker cardboard than the standard sort of corners, but generally speaking, no issues with this, no stickers, so that's going to be no work either, so that's all good. Another expensive one, Daffy Duck and the Marvin missions. This one's got a bit of bowing. You can see where it's had a bit of squash look, so there's almost been maybe a little bit of water damage here where it's bowed, and a bit of bowing to the sides, but other than that, standard tatty corners, not mint by any means. Definitely had a little bit of water on it, I'd say, at some point. But flaps are there, manual's there, generally speaking, all good. This is one that I could potentially iron in the future, but as of right now, nothing immediate that needs doing before this can go in its box protector and ultimately be put on the shelf. Mr. Nuts, again, looks like it's had a little bit of squashing. I think a lot of these games came from a video rental store. I think Rich, Old School Gaming, was saying when this lady came in with all these games, I think she owned a video rental store. A little bit of damage in this corner, look. But again, nothing major, no stickers, nothing that I really need to do right now. So yeah, so they come in varying condition with them being from a rental store. The only one that wasn't complete was this one, Wild and Wacky Sports. He did say to me though that she has been coming in drips and drabs as she finds boxes, so he's very confident the manual will come in. Rich being the top guy that he is, he charged me the price of this without the manual, and he did say he'll give me the manual should she bring it in, so hopefully there'll be a manual coming in. Very small little bit of sticker residue there that I'll get off with a little bit of Mr. Sheen, but otherwise this box is in nice condition. I love this bright pink box, so yeah, just the standard again, corners, and no real issues with that, thankfully, and hopefully we'll get the manual for this. And then from what I've seen, this is probably the worst of the condition. Ultraman, it's, as you can see, it's sort of like, again, it looks like it potentially had water damage, but you can see someone's tried to colour this in, so you can see where it's probably had some discoloration. It's probably gone white, and you can tell if you look closely, someone's tried to colour this in black pen. You can see it there, look. It doesn't really bother me, it is what it is. It's only a cheap game, it's one for the collection. Rich did me a fantastic price, like a bundle price on all these. I knew they weren't mint. This is more than good enough for my relatively low Nintendo cardboard standards. So yeah, again, nothing that really needs doing with that. So far, we've not really got a lot of work to do. However, there is this last one, the most expensive one. And clearly, we've got some work to do here. So the box has got a little bit of a tear. Not the end of the world. This is like a £175 game, I think, from what we could see. Generally speaking, the box is in real good condition. It's a real solid box, no real sort of like bowing or damage to it. But we've got this massive Dixon sticker. It's going to be a little bit of an awkward one because it does go over the tear. But this is where we're going to turn our attention then. I thought there might be more to do than just this one, but as I say, there's a tiny bit of residue on Wild and Wacky Sports, which is nothing. But yeah, let's take a closer look at trying to get this sticker off, shall we? So as predicted, no problems with Wild and Wacky Sports. Now we turn our attention to Super Pang. I've taken the insides out so I can flatten it down to avoid any sort of bowing or damages and doing it. The pressure's on a little bit with this one. Like I say, it's such an expensive game and it's such a huge sticker. Yeah, I really don't want to damage what's underneath. I think this, if anything, will be a lighter fluid job, but I'm going to see firstly just if this will peel off on its own accord. I'm going to put the camera down because, like I say, I'm not taking any chances. I want 2 hands for this one. Okay, so the sticker will definitely lift off easy enough, but you can see from the small piece I've taken off, it's taking a little bit of the ink underneath. So that's as much as I'm prepared to do like that. What I'm going to do is put some lighter fluid on it. Okay, the sticker came off like a dream once I'd heated it with the hairdryer, and look at that. That looks 100 times better, right? In that big, ugly Dixon sticker all over it. The Capcom logo is now in full glory. This was never in mint condition anyway. There was always a tear in the box and, yeah, a few bangs and dings here and there. Learn from my mistakes. As you can see there towards the G, there's a little bit of wave. That came from me probably using too much lighter fluid. So, yeah, let that be a lesson to everybody watching. Don't put too much lighter fluid on. I'm new to the lighter fluid game, but, yeah, not too much harm done. Generally speaking, really happy with it. It looks loads better than it did. And what I was going to do is sort of put these on the Super Nintendo wall now, right? All these games that are fit for purpose. However, that's going to have to wait because I want to talk to you guys about what's been frustrating me this afternoon. As you can see, the new unit's in place. I took off the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 standee because I thought to myself, rather than just being able to extend the spines of the games out here, I wanted to turn this into a full Super Nintendo wall, right? So every inch of it, Super Nintendo, which means extending these rows out. Now, I always thought I could get half Billy's in, half Mosslander units in here, right? 55 centimeters. Guess how much wall space there is, guys? 54 centimeters. Excruciatingly. 1 centimeter it would overhang, which would just annoy me. We can't have that. And obviously, the smaller the cut, the harder it is. I don't really have the tools for it. So that's why I was frustrated earlier on. Also, I had a fantastic idea of extending the top row all the way across. That's just dead space up there right now. Let's make this a full Super Nintendo wall, right? Let's live up to the name. Once you pull this out, it's sort of just probably about there, just under an inch that it hangs. No issue whatsoever. Certainly doesn't affect headroom or anything like that. And then the issue with this, you can see where I filled the hole, one of the many things that I did this afternoon, which took time and ultimately got me nowhere. There's a steel girdle here. So I can't just drill into that and put the big shelf on. I tried to do it earlier. However, the father-in-law popped round earlier and he is Mr. D.I.Y. He's got all the tools. So he is going to cut the shelves down for me using a specific tool. Also, we spoke about how to make this work. We're going to just like put our own holes and screws into this section of the shelf. We're going to use like real sturdy hollow raw plugs, and then we're going to probably try to fix this in a different way, maybe a bit of no more nails, maybe try and get a screw in if we can. But yeah, certainly in terms of the lightweight that's going to go on it with a few Super Nintendo games, it won't be an issue. So yeah, it's going to look fantastic. We're going to have Super Nintendo all the way across this wall. However, due to time constraints and when he can come to help me with his tools, what it does mean is that I've had to come to IKEA again in the rain. Needs must. The things I do for that games room. But yeah, like I say, we're on time constraints. I've got to come and get these now. It's the only opportunity I've got in order for the father-in-law to be able to help me get them cut, etc, etc. So yeah, we're here again. In a very different mood to the last time I was here. I won't be hanging about. We're getting in and out. We're getting this done. Let's go. a new dawn, it's a new day, and yeah, the world feels like a better place. Yesterday I just wasn't able to be as productive as I'd hoped. As I say, we had all these issues with this wall, and then having to do like a late trip to IKEA. I literally got there like 8:45 last night, and you might watch these vlogs and see the amount of times I go to IKEA and assume that I live local. It's not that local, it's a good hour and a half round trip. So yeah, but it needed to be done because the day you're watching this, Sunday morning, we'll be hard at work with the father-in-law. We'll be getting this done. So on next week's vlog, we're going to be seeing a full Super Nintendo wall. I'm going to rejig everything, reposition all the games, reposition the sign, basically make the Super Nintendo wall look better than it's ever looked before. And yeah, that excites me. Really happy about that. We've got all the shelves and everything down here. As we talk, and as you'll be seeing on screen now, little man's Mario wall is being put together. It's hard to believe that was once the Retro Ghetto 2.5 and now turned into a fantastic little boy's bedroom. And he's currently his grandparents. He's going to be absolutely delighted when he sees that Mario wall and it's all its glory. I'm going to try and probably film his reaction to it. I'll probably put that on next week's vlog. But yeah, it's so excited for him to see that. And I've got to give a massive shout out once again to Kevin and his team who, yeah, have just done me a solid yet again. Yeah, I'm just elated with it. It's going to be so cool, and I know how happy little man's going to be. But yeah, we're fast running out of time. I just want to take this time to basically say that, and yeah, even though yesterday might not have been as productive as I had initially hoped, I'm delighted with where we're at with this room. It's been a lot of hard work, and I set myself a very difficult brief of basically having more on display, but also feeling more open and spacious. And I think I've nailed it, if I'm being honest. I'm delighted with how it's all coming together. Because I've taken the bits off the end of this unit as well, I'm even more happy with all this space here. Removing the Pac-Man machine has opened all that area up. And as I say, we're soon going to get this wall finished. We're soon going to have this wall finished. And don't want to put pressure on myself because this is the part of the hobby that I enjoy. But I think I've been feeling the pressure a little bit because we're getting closer to D-Day, right? Mini Ghetto will be here before too long, and I really want to get this room wrapped up. I don't like leaving projects unfinished or half finished. I really want to get this room done before Mini Ghetto gets here. So obviously, mentally and physically, I can concentrate on what's more important, and obviously taking the time and bonding with Mini Ghetto. So yeah, I really am trying to get this done, but also trying to enjoy the journey at the same time. And yeah, I'm just, more importantly, delighted with the results, delighted with how it's looking in here. Before I say goodbye today, I do have a parcel. Let's take a look. Right, okay, so this was sent in by a friend of the channel, Brad. Fantastic guy, Brad. Spoke about him before. He runs the Little Warriors Foundation. They do a lot of work for Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. I'm going to be making a donation to that, or trying to get involved next time Brad is at one of the events, because I know what Brad does is he has like replica WWF belts and titles, and you can sort of have a photo with them and then make a charitable donation to the charity. So I'm hoping to do that very, very soon. As soon as I see Brad, hopefully at the NEC Toy Fair, if he is attending. But yeah, that would be my way of thanking Brad for what is a gift. I know what this is. Brad commented on my latest video when we looked at the games that I picked up at Old School Gaming, and he referenced one of the games that was in the shop. The X-Men 2 Mega Drive games become a very expensive game, and he said that he had the box only, and I reached out to Brad and said, look, let me buy it off you if you're selling. And he basically said, look, he found it for next to nothing at a car boot sale. He was always meaning to sort of piece it together, never got around to it. And Brad being Brad, he wouldn't take anything for it, which is why I really want to make this charitable donation to the Little Warriors Foundation. Links will be in the description box below. Make sure you go and support that if you're able to do so. So yeah, Brad being Brad, he sent me that. I do have a couple of things that I know Brad wants, so I'm going to be sending them to him in response. But yeah, let's have a look at this, shall we? Right, there's more in here than just the Mega Drive game you told me about. Right, okay, let's get into this then, shall we? There's a few things in here. So, right, okay, SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. We know, as to what I just said, that Brad is a WWF fan, right? So yeah, we've got SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. Oh, this is a game that I've actually been wanting, I don't currently own. Kengo. So, to my knowledge, this is like a one-on-one sort of sword fighting game. Master of Bushido. And then, oh yeah, he knows, right? He knows I was talking about this. What a guy. I referenced this on Wednesday's video, right? Because I said I don't know if it was the Mega Drive version or the Super Nintendo version that I had as a child, because the box art is so like burnt into my memories. I bought the Super Nintendo one. I didn't have the Mega Drive one, so Brad sent me a copy of Kickoff as well. And the actual one that I knew I was getting, X-Men 2, Blue Spine, Mega Drive. Look at that artwork. I remember noticing it in Kev's shop and just thinking, wow. I knew it was an expensive game, so it was in the glass cabinet, so I didn't even ask. But that artwork's fantastic. So if anybody knows where I can track down a manual or a cartridge, because I did look on CEX, there's no cartridge only on there. So I want to try and piece this together, get it placed on the Sega wall. Yeah, just fantastic artwork, Blue Spine. Absolutely love that. Once again, massive, massive shout out to Brad. It's a parcel on its way to you, sir. Hopefully, I'll see you at the NEC Toy Fair, where we can, yeah, do something towards your charity. But yeah, just an absolute gentleman. And what a great way to end this week's vlog. It's crazy how quick the week's flying. As I say, tomorrow morning, bright and early, I'm going to be at it with the father-in-law and all this fantastic array of tools that he takes everywhere with him. Yeah, we're going to get this wall done. I'm very excited about that. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. Have a fantastic Sunday. Thank you everybody for watching. Come along this journey with me. I'll see you all real soon. Take care.
Retro Ghetto.
Lock into the retro ghetto.